I am in my late 20s, got a decent job as a project manager at a tech company, and I thought I had my life pretty figured out. I had been with my girlfriend Amanda for over 2 years, and things were good, really good. We shared an apartment, split bills, and had this comfortable rhythm going. Then, her sister Bridget got divorced and moved nearby with her 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl ages 8, 6, and 4. Those children were not like any kids I had ever encountered before. Before I tell you what happened next, let me know where you are watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe, because you will want to hear how this situation spiraled completely out of control. Amanda and I met through mutual friends at a concert about 3 years ago. It was one of those instant connection moments. We both loved hiking, couldn't get enough Thai food, and had this weird obsession with horror movies. A year into dating, we decided to move in together. The apartment was small but cozy, and we made it work. I handled the project management side of things at a mid-sized tech company downtown, pulling in a solid salary. Amanda worked as a freelance graphic designer, which meant she was home most days, laptop open at the kitchen table, lost in whatever creative project had her attention that week. Our life was peaceful. Saturdays meant hiking trails an hour outside the city. Sundays were for cooking elaborate meals together and binge-watching whatever series caught our interest. We had movie nights during the week, usually with takeout containers scattered across the coffee table. It was simple, and I loved every bit of it. Then, 3 months before everything fell apart, Amanda got a call from Bridget. Her younger sister by 4 years, Bridget had been living in Florida with her husband and 3 children. Apparently, the husband had been cheating, and Bridget had finally had enough. She filed for divorce and decided she needed a fresh start somewhere familiar. That somewhere turned out to be our city, about 20 minutes from our apartment. Amanda was thrilled. She adored her sister and immediately offered to help however she could. I understood that. Family is important, and Bridget was going through something terrible. The first time I met the 3 kids was at a family dinner Amanda organized at our place. She spent the whole afternoon cooking, wanting everything to be perfect for her sister's first visit since the move. When they arrived, the children seemed polite enough. Dylan, the 8-year-old, shook my hand. Cody, the 6-year-old, mumbled a quiet, "Hello." Madison, the 4-year-old, hid behind her mother's leg. They sat at the dinner table, ate their food without much fuss, and I remember thinking maybe this would not be so bad after all. That illusion shattered the moment dinner ended. While the adults moved to the living room to chat, the chaos began. Dylan grabbed a picture frame off our bookshelf and dropped it. Glass shattered across the hardwood floor. Before I could react, he pointed at Madison and said she did it. Meanwhile, Cody had started racing around the apartment like he was at a playground. He knocked over a vase Amanda had gotten from her grandmother. Water and flowers spread across the floor. Madison decided she wanted candy, and when Amanda said no, the little girl started screaming. Not crying, screaming. High-pitched wails that made my head pound. I looked at Bridget, expecting her to step in to discipline them somehow. Instead, she just sighed and said they were tired. The divorce had been hard on them. Amanda jumped to her defense, immediately shooting me a look that said I should be more understanding. I helped clean up the broken glass and the spilled water while the kids continued their rampage. By the time they left 2 hours later, our apartment looked like a tornado had passed through. Amanda kissed my cheek and thanked me for being so patient. I forced a smile, but inside, I felt uneasy. A week later, Bridget called Amanda on a Friday evening. She had a job interview Saturday afternoon and needed someone to watch the kids for a few hours. Without asking me first, Amanda volunteered my services. I was standing right there in the kitchen when she said it. "Ken will be home. He can watch them." I opened my mouth to protest, but Amanda had already hung up and was smiling at me like she had just solved world hunger. I wanted to be supportive. I really did. So I agreed. Saturday arrived and Bridget dropped off the 3 kids at noon. She said she would be back by 3. Those 3 hours felt like 3 days. Dylan found a permanent marker somewhere and drew stick figures all over our couch. I only discovered it when I walked into the living room and saw him capping the marker with a satisfied grin. Cody opened the fridge, grabbed the milk carton, and somehow managed to spill the entire thing across the kitchen floor. When I asked who did it, both boys looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. Madison screamed for a tablet. I did not have one to give her, so she just kept screaming. My head throbbed. I tried to stay calm, but I was scrubbing marker off the couch cushions, mopping up milk, and listening to that relentless wailing all at once. When Bridget finally showed up at 3:30, 30 minutes late, she breezed in, scooped up her kids, and said thanks so much. No apology. No acknowledgement of the disaster they had left behind. She was out the door before I could even respond. I stood there in the wreckage of our apartment, exhausted and frustrated. Amanda came home an hour later, took one look at the couch, and asked what happened. I explained. She sighed and said, "Kids will be kids." Then she hugged me and said she appreciated me helping her family. I wanted to believe this was a one-time thing. The following weekend, Bridget called again. Same request. Saturday afternoon, just a few hours. This time, Amanda volunteered me before Bridget even finished her sentence. I pulled Amanda aside after she hung up and said we needed to talk. I told her I appreciated that she wanted to help her sister, but could she please ask me before committing my time? She looked annoyed. "It is just a few hours, Ken. Why are you making this difficult?" I did not want to fight, so I agreed again. Saturday came. This time the kids were worse. Dylan discovered my work laptop on the desk. I had left it there, not thinking a child would touch it. He grabbed a juice box and somehow managed to spill it directly onto the keyboard. Sticky orange liquid seeped between the keys. I grabbed the laptop, tried to shake it out, but the damage was done. $800 worth of equipment ruined. Cody decided to play a game where he threw every toy he could find across the living room. One of them hit the television screen. I heard the crack before I saw it. A spiderweb fracture spread across the corner of the screen. I stared at it, feeling my blood pressure spike. Madison pulled down the curtains while trying to climb them like a rope. The rod came off the wall and fabric pooled on the floor. I called Amanda. She was out with friends at brunch. I told her what was happening. She sighed into the phone and said, "Just handle it. I am busy right now." Then she hung up. I stood there with the phone in my hand, feeling completely alone. No backup, no support, just me and 3 kids who were destroying everything I owned. When Bridget arrived 40 minutes late again, I tried to explain what had happened. I pointed to the laptop, the television, the curtains. She barely glanced at the damage. "Boys will be boys," she said with a shrug. "They are just kids. Accidents happen." I mentioned that the laptop alone was $1,200 to replace, and the television was another $800. She gave me this look like I was overreacting and said she had to go. She did not offer to pay for anything. That night, Amanda and I had our first real fight about it. I told her this could not keep happening every weekend. I needed my time too. I had plans, hobbies, things I wanted to do. She crossed her arms and said, "Family helps family." I was being selfish. Bridget was going through a hard time and I should have more empathy. I went to bed angry and she stayed up late watching television. The next month was a nightmare. Every single weekend, Bridget needed babysitting. The reasons varied. Job interviews, errands, me time, dates. It did not matter. Amanda expected me to be available, and I was because I did not know how to say no without causing another argument. My life disappeared. I canceled plans to go hiking with friends. I put my online course on hold. I stopped working on the side project I had been excited about. Every Saturday and Sunday, I was trapped in our apartment with 3 kids who had learned there were no consequences for bad behavior. The damage kept piling up. Crayons melted into the carpet, food smeared on walls. My headphones went missing and turned up later, snapped in half. I tried talking to Amanda multiple times. I sat her down and explained that I was exhausted. I needed help. Could Bridget find a regular babysitter? Why did it always have to be me? Her responses got harsher each time. "You're being selfish. Bridget cannot afford a babysitter. If you really cared about me, you would not complain about helping my family. Maybe you are not the person I thought you were." That last comment stung. I started to feel guilty, like maybe I was the problem, but I was also resentful. Our relationship was changing. Amanda spent more time with Bridget than with me. Our date nights disappeared because Bridget needed help with something. I felt invisible. The kids got worse too. Dylan started talking back to me, calling me stupid when I told him not to do something. Cody deliberately made messes. He poured cereal on the floor just to watch me clean it up. He smeared peanut butter on the bathroom mirror. Madison threw tantrums that lasted hours, lying on the floor, kicking and screaming until I thought my ears would bleed. One Friday night, my best friend Troy called. I'd not seen him in weeks. He asked how I was doing and I broke. I told him everything. The kids, the damage, Amanda's expectations, the constant arguments. He listened without interrupting, and when I finished, he said something that stuck with me. "Man, you need to set boundaries. This is not sustainable. You sound miserable." He was right. I was miserable. I tried one more conversation with Amanda that weekend. I told her I loved her, but I felt like I was being taken advantage of. This was affecting our relationship, and I needed her to hear me. She looked at me with cold eyes and said if I really loved her, I would not complain about helping her family. Maybe I was not the person she thought I was. The same words again. I felt something break inside me. It was a Friday evening, 2 months into this pattern. I came home after a brutal week at work. My boss had been on me about a project deadline, and I had been putting in extra hours to get it done. I was exhausted. All I wanted was to collapse on the couch and zone out. Instead, I walked in to find Amanda sitting at the kitchen table with her hands folded, wearing an expression I had never seen before. Serious, almost cold. She said we needed to talk. I put my bag down and sat across from her. She explained that Bridget was starting a full-time job the following week. It was great news for Bridget, but it meant she needed consistent childcare. Daycare was too expensive. Bridget could not afford it on her new salary. So Amanda had come up with a solution. I would watch the kids every Saturday and every Sunday. I stared at her. Every weekend, both days. That is my only free time. She nodded. Bridget needs this and I need you to step up. I tried to reason with her. I asked what about my life, my hobbies, my need to rest. I even offered to help pay for a babysitter. We could split the cost. Anything but giving up every single weekend. Amanda refused. Why should we pay when you are available? This is what partners do for each other. The conversation escalated. I could feel my frustration boiling over, but I tried to keep my voice steady. I told her this was not fair. I'd already given up so much. She cut me off. Her voice was sharp. "You have 2 choices, Ken. Step up and be there for my family or get out. I cannot be with someone who is this selfish." The words hit me like a punch. An ultimatum. After 2 years together, she was giving me an ultimatum. I sat there stunned into silence. She continued, "I need your answer by tomorrow morning." Then she stood up and walked to the bedroom, leaving me alone in the living room. I did not sleep that night. I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything in my head. I thought about the good times, the concert where we met, the lazy Sunday mornings, the hikes where we would stop at the peak and just sit in silence, taking in the view. I thought about the laughter, the inside jokes, the way she used to look at me like I was the only person in the world. But then I thought about the past 2 months, the constant demands, the lack of appreciation, the way she dismissed my feelings every time I tried to talk to her. I thought about the future she was asking me to accept. Every weekend for who knows how long, babysitting 3 kids who would destroy my things and show no respect. Bridget would never appreciate it. Amanda would never see my side. I would lose myself completely. Around 3 in the morning, I made my decision. I deserved better. Not because I was selfish, but because I had a right to set boundaries. I had a right to a life that was my own. The relationship had already changed. It was not a partnership anymore. It was me serving Amanda's needs and getting nothing in return. When 6:30 rolled around, I got up. Amanda was still asleep in the bedroom. I moved quietly, gathering my things. Clothes went into duffel bags. My laptop, what was left of it, and important documents went into my backpack. I grabbed photos of my family, my books, my guitar. I did not take everything, just the essentials, the things that mattered. I wrote a note and left it on the kitchen counter. Amanda, I thought about your ultimatum all night. You asked me to choose between stepping up or getting out. I choose to get out, not because I do not care about you, but because I care about myself too. You stopped seeing me as a partner and started seeing me as free help. I deserve someone who respects my time, my boundaries, and my needs. I hope you find what you are looking for, but it cannot be at my expense anymore. I will come back for the rest of my things next week. Take care. Ken. I called Troy at 7 in the morning. Can I crash at your place for a while? He did not ask questions. He just said yes. Leave the key under the mat, come anytime. I took one last look at the apartment, at the couch where we used to watch movies, at the kitchen where we used to cook together. I felt sadness, but I also felt relief, a weight lifting off my shoulders. I walked out the door at 7:45 before Amanda woke up. I drove to Troy's place, and for the first time in months I exhaled. Amanda woke up around 9. She found the note. Her response was immediate, 15 missed calls in the span of an hour. I did not answer. Then the texts started flooding in. You cannot be serious. You are throwing away 2 years over babysitting. This is so immature. Call me now. I read them, but did not respond. Finally, one last message came through. Fine, if this is what you want, good riddance. I blocked her number. I felt peace I had not felt in months. A week later, our mutual friend Jessica reached out. She said Amanda was furious, telling everyone that I had abandoned her when she needed me most. Bridget was apparently angry too, scrambling to find childcare for her new job. Jessica also told me something else. Honestly, a lot of us saw this coming. You were not yourself these past months. That validation meant more than I expected. 2 weeks after I left, I went back to the apartment with Troy for support. I needed to collect the rest of my belongings. Amanda had agreed to be out during that time. When I walked in, the place looked different. Toys were scattered everywhere. The chaos I had been managing every weekend had taken over completely. I grabbed my remaining things, looked around one last time, and realized something. If I had stayed, this would have been my life permanently. No escape, no boundaries, just endless weekends of destruction and resentment. I left the keys on the counter and closed the door for the last time. The first month after leaving was hard. I stayed with Troy, sleeping on his couch, slowly piecing my life back together. Some days I missed Amanda. I missed the person she used to be before Bridget and the kids took over everything. I doubted my decision sometimes, wondering if I should have tried harder. But Troy kept me grounded. You did the right thing, man. Trust me. Gradually, I started reclaiming the parts of myself I had lost. I went hiking again with friends I had neglected. Standing at the top of a trail, breathing in cold mountain air, I felt alive in a way I had forgotten. I finished the online course I had abandoned. I started going to the gym regularly, and the physical strength I built mirrored the mental strength growing inside me. I met new people through a hiking group. I reconnected with old friends who said they were glad to have me back. My work performance improved too. I was not dragging myself into the office every Monday exhausted from a weekend of chaos. My boss noticed and gave me new responsibilities that came with a raise. 3 months after walking out, I moved into my own studio apartment. It was small, but it was mine. No one else's mess, no compromises. I decorated it the way I wanted, with my books on shelves and my guitar in the corner. Coming home to silence and order became something I appreciated deeply. 4 months after the breakup, Jessica contacted me again. She had news. Amanda and Bridget had a falling out. Apparently, Bridget had started taking advantage of Amanda the same way she had taken advantage of me. Amanda was finally seeing the pattern, but it was too late. Jessica said Amanda had mentioned me in passing. I should have listened to him. I felt a brief flicker of satisfaction, but mostly I just felt relieved that I was out. I also learned that Bridget eventually moved back to Florida. The kids still had the same behavior issues. Nothing had changed for them, but everything had changed for me. Looking back now, I can see the whole experience taught me something crucial. Boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. You cannot sacrifice your own well-being for someone who does not appreciate it. Real partnership means mutual respect, not one-sided demands. Walking away from the wrong situation is not weakness. It is strength. I hold no bitterness toward Amanda or Bridget. I'm just grateful for the lesson. I'm in a better place now. I date casually, but I'm in no rush. I focus on my career, enjoy my hobbies, and prioritize my own peace and happiness. I know what I will never tolerate again in a relationship. Looking back, that ultimatum was the best thing that ever happened to me. It forced me to choose myself for once. Sometimes the hardest decisions lead to the most freedom. And I have never regretted walking out that door. Have you ever been in a situation where someone demanded too much from you? How did you handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories. Share this with someone who might need to hear it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you find the courage to set your own boundaries when you need to. Take care of yourself out there.